Hi guys, this is Mike with MikeMikes.com. Today what I want to do, I want to kind of touch base on the computer and the exponents or the external ingredients of a computer basically. What we have right here is going to be, this is a motherboard. Now as I said before, the motherboard is basically is the central station or the unit that actually controls every component inside of a computer basically. Now, I wanted to kind of give an idea or just kind of point you in the right direction of what exactly is on a motherboard. I thought a better way to do this was to basically just provide it in video format. Okay, I want to start right now with just kind of where the CPU or the actual CPU goes inside of a motherboard. This is what I have in my hand. This is actually the processor or the CPU. The processor basically goes into a slot, and the processor actually comes in different forms, and it depends really on the type of motherboard that you have. Now it actually just kind of grooves into the slot here, and I'll kind of open it up to let you see. Check it out to let you see exactly what it does. Okay. Now you actually have to make sure that these pins that you see here, that usually with when the CPU slots, you have to make sure that it is aligned correctly, so that it'll kind of go into the slot once you get the pins aligned. But make sure that you're very careful with the actual CPU, so that it does not cause any problems as far as the pins being broken off or any problems with that. And I'm having a little problem there, but there we go. Okay, all right. That's first going to be with the CPU. And what I was saying about the cooling fan actually attaches itself on top here, and I don't have a cooling fan right away, but the fan actually goes here, which is will plug into a connector. Some actually plug into the connector on the board. Some actually connect directly to the power supply, depending on the type of motherboard that you have. Next we have, I want to kind of go with the memory. These are the memory slots. These are two memory slots, and they're basically, this is a DIMM slot where that'll go basically just connect to these two ports here. And you just make sure that you have to also align the slots as accordingly. You have to make sure that the pins are lined up with the particular slots on the computer. This is where the hard drive connects. This is basically the hard drive is here. This is the hard drive. It will connect with the cable with what's called an IDE cable. It'll connect to this. This is going to be the primary drive. The secondary drive can be anything from it can include anything from a CD, DVD player, DVD drive, anything with the IDE cable attached with or that's not the hard drive would function as a secondary drive if you wanted to perform in that manner. Thirdly, this is where the power supply connects. This is the power supply connector. This is the power supply is here. The power supply will connect into the board here. Once you get that connected, this would actually serve as the power to everything that's connected onto the computer. Basically, you have to have power for any IDE drives, any disk drives, any to the board itself, floppy drives. So it basically serves as power to the computer. Okay, next I wanted to touch base on the PCI slots. These are PCI slots, these three slots here going. This is where you can connect. This kind of gives you the option to connect network PCI ports, such as this is a PCI card. It is actually a card where you can connect your internet. This is by dial-up. This is a modem. And these are different. I'm just showing you different ID or PCI cards. This one is a video card, and video cards are now coming in all different sizes of ports. Just that there are other ports that are available for video cards. This one also, this is a network card. This is where you can get high-speed internet, DSL with the Cat5 cable. This actually will connect here. It will connect into your motherboard here by this method, and then of course the computer would recognize that particular card when you connect the power to the when you turn on your system. All right, next I want to touch base also on all of the slots that are listed here. These are already built into the motherboard on this particular board, and these are just the audio ports, and this is where, like, if you want to connect headset or if you want to connect the microphone, input, output devices. This is going to be your USB slots. The USB slots are basically where you can connect printers. You can connect anything that has a USB connection, such as a printer or anything that needs a USB connection. This up top is going to be this is going to be a network connection as well. Of you, like I was saying earlier, with that card that I provided earlier with the PCI slot, it does the same exact thing. It's just that if you, some cards sometimes go out on a computer, and you can take the option, if the motherboard allows it, of taking the actual port that you added or the actual PCI card and connect it to that slot, and it'll provide the same function as an onboard video or the onboard network card. All right, then we have a bit of graphics cards here. This is where that card I was showing you before, the monitor cable will go into, basically where you need to see your screen on your computer. The other slots are just gaming devices, basically if you wanted to play some games, and they're high-tech devices that can actually connect into the computer. Next we have the keyboard and then the mouse connectors. These are very just make sure that you get the ports correctly and that you always make sure that the slide is up. If you can see the ports on there, you'll see that the slides are up on the particular computer. I'd also want to show you where the CMOS battery is located on the motherboard. This basically provides memory, or it keeps the computer in sync, or it remembers things when the computer is turned off. It actually keeps the memory so that it doesn't lose its memory. The other slots on the board, this is a pin where on this particular board, these pins are just for power, and they're also just for your speaker on the computer, the actual internal speaker. The power reset buttons, the hard drive LEDs, these are basically just the LEDs that will actually illuminate when you turn on your computer and you see the flashing, blinking light on the front of your computer. It's just basically for display reasons. This is going to be another IDE drive that I was talking about for your it's for your floppy drive, and this connects directly to that particular floppy drive, as well as the power supply having connection to the port. Now on the power supply, I kind of want to touch base a little bit on that as well. On the power supply, you're going to have, if you can see these connectors are what actually give it power supplies, and these are very straightforward. There are different ones on particular power supplies. It just depends on what you're looking for. Like these are just standard connectors that will go into, these connect actually to the hard drive and any information that you may need as far as the hard drive. This one is in particular is for your floppy drive, and those are becoming a little obsolete. People are not using the floppy drives as much. They're not even, when you're building new computers now, they are not for floppy drives. They're building them basically now with DVD burners, or the standard. That's basically what now you connect, or either with the media card readers. So that's kind of where the technology is taking us at this particular moment. This is that connector I was telling you about that actually connects to the board. It's the P1, if you can see that. That actually, just what I was saying, is just give power to the particular motherboard. I also would like to take a moment and just kind of reiterate about the motherboard, that it basically serves as the function of the computer. It is a very, very important aspect of the computer. You can't do anything without a motherboard. Basically, with the motherboard and power supply, you will get some functionality, although it may not run, like it should, being that if you don't have anything else connected to it. But the motherboard is the foundation of the computer. Is basically the bricks of your brick house. Without it, you can't do it. So just kind of want to recap on that, and just look around at the parts. If you want to kind of take in all the rest of it, just circuitry, connectors, just basically to make the motherboard function and run properly. But I thought that a good way to give you insight of what a motherboard is and the particular inside components of a motherboard by showing you this on video. This is Mike Mikes coming at you from MikeMikes.com. Take a look around the website for all your questions, for all your advice, for all your personal information. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email by clicking on the contact link. I will be glad to assist you. I'll be glad to answer all the questions or all the answers that I possibly know. Certainly appreciate your time today. Have a good one. Thank you.